Are you caught up on videos yet? If not, you gotta pause now and you gotta go back. Because soon you're not gonna believe that we bought this boat for $100. She's changing by the day. Go catch up. Okay, prepping for paint on the cabin sides is almost done. Sorry, I didn't film much of it because, again, it's all been sanding, and we've showed you lots and lots of sanding before. But in order to finish prepping for the paint, we are going to reseal the windows, which means we have to peel out all the old caulk and then put new caulk in.
Now, let me add that. Right now, some of these windows have definitely leaked in the past, but I don't think they're leaking at all right now.
And it looks like somebody has caulked it again, caulked it a third, fourth, fifth time. It's just piled and piled and piled up.
So whatever caulking is there is right now sealing the windows. They're not currently leaking. This kind of thing, what has been done and what we're going to do again, is just a band-aid. This is not the proper way to like really seal these windows permanently. The proper thing to do is to like take the whole thing out and rebed the whole window. But that's a big job. Most people do that on these old trawlers, replace the old wooden frames with like aluminum frames. It's just a lot of money, a lot of time, and we're not going to do that.
We're doing a better fix than the worst fix. So we're not re-caulking over old caulk. We're taking out the old caulk and putting new caulk in.
Clean it really, really good, put new caulk in, and make sure it's just sealed that way.
So it's not the best fix, it's not the worst fix, it's in the middle. Okay, well, I told you we were working on the windows today, but it started raining, drizzling. So instead, I'm switching up and I'm working on our stairs that lead up to the fly bridge, and I have already sanded them, and now we are going to Danish teak sealer them. A product by Tula. Still undecided what we're going to do about this big door out here. Maybe we'll do the same thing. We're definitely doing Danish teak sealer on the bow pulpit, on the swim platform, and on the rails, teak rails around the boat. So still undetermined about the door and the upper wood in the fly bridge, but maybe we'll just do it all like this. We will see. Let's see how it works. Okay, so I have a setup under the boat just in case it rains. I sanded everything down with 100 because there was a bunch of old varnish on here, got that off, and then hand sanded it with 220 and then wiped all the dust off. And now we're going to apply with a foam brush. Now we're gonna wait about 20 to 30 minutes for it to like soak in, and then we're gonna come back around with a clean dry rag and get up any of the excess sealer. And then we're gonna wait over 8 hours and do another coat. Okay, it's been about 30 minutes. I got my clean dry rag and we're gonna go wipe up the excess sealer. Going for coat number 2 today, and then we'll wipe it down in about 30 minutes and then we're done. Okay, something is being removed today. It has been a leaking point on the boat. That is the old windlass. So we're removing it, taking out the bolts, probably gonna fill in the holes, and then we have a new windlass that we can put on, and that is all thanks to one of our patrons, Kenneth, and his family, who they removed it off their boat and they offered it to us in order to put on here, and we're super excited. So we'll fix the leak and we'll add the new one. Woohoo! That's a little rusty.
You think this thing doesn't work anymore?
So that leak up there due to the windlass has caused all of this issue and has rusted the chain into one giant glob because it's been like dripping down for probably years, just right in here. You're not gonna lift electrocute yourself, right?
No, the brake was off, and I don't even know if it's connected. It's definitely off. Look at all the rust just falling off. It's all falling like into the V-berth. I've never seen a chain so rusty before. Maybe at the bottom of the ocean. This is ridiculous. Look at this pile of rust right here. Can you see that? It's like a solid piece of rust. Ridiculous. I've never seen a chain so rusty before. I gotta hammer it to break it up as it goes up out the hole. All empty.
We're back, and it looks like we have a solid like 7 days where it says it's not gonna rain and it's gonna be warm enough. So we are back working on the windows. Billy's gonna go around each window and remove the caulk. I'll go around each window after him and sand that part of the window frame. And then we'll go back and we'll put the bead of caulk around it. While he's working on this first window, I'm going to go back up to the bow pulpit and finish sanding that, and we'll get our 2 coats of Danish teak sealer on that. And I think I did some polls on Instagram for you guys. If you're not on Instagram, make sure you go follow us on Instagram. But it looks like everybody voted to just kind of keep everything Danish teak sealer. It seems to be way easier to apply. You only need 2 coats compared to like 8 to 10 of varnish on exterior surfaces. 2 coats, so much easier. It's not super shiny and pretty like varnish, but the easeability is making us lean more that way. Let's get going. Okay, sorry, camera died right when I was putting on that second coat, but 30 minutes went by, I wiped it all down, so here is the final color of the bow pulpit. Looking pretty nice. Now we are back to working on the windows. I am sanding, Billy is removing the caulk. Okay, so as you can see, I have already sanded pretty much all of this, but I didn't sand in here because I knew we had needed to get the old caulk out first. So that's what we're gonna do today. Remove this and then finish sanding around here, and then we will be ready to paint. This one's not as bad. The ones on the other side are really bad. Let me show you. Like this. That's not good.
All right, we're taking the caulk out from around the windows, all this old caulk, a lot of silicone. Yeah, we're just gonna get it super cleaned up, get all the old junk out, get it really nice, smooth, nice and clean, and then we'll put some nice new, we'll probably just use the 4000, 3M 4000 UV, just seal it all back up. This originally was an opening window. Once we get all this old caulk off, we could probably open it again, but we'll probably seal it back up to make it a closed window again, just to prevent any possibility of leaks. Again, like, we really don't want to get into replacing all these windows. That would just be a huge job, a huge expense that we're not prepared to do right now.
Can you show me what came out of it?
Yeah, look at it here. Like, here's a huge thing of silicone that was in the track. This is the old track where it used to open. Probably the first time this window's been open in like 20 years.
Wanna get a
Like, these are some thick beads.
The only disadvantage is that, yeah, the window won't open, but honestly, like,
We have these two doors right here on each side that open, so that'll be a cross breeze.
And then there's we'll leave one or two in the kitchen, the galley that'll open. And between all the doors and hatches that do open, there's plenty of ventilation. Maybe not if you're in the Bahamas or Caribbean, but for where this boat will be, it'll be perfect.
Okay, I just finished, or at least what I'm calling finished, sanding the entire cabin top. I got a little excited when I finished that, and I kind of moved on to another project, but I figured I had to come get the camera and show you, because this is also one that's going to make a huge difference. I started on the handrails. So this is what we're working with. Big, huge, thick patches of like old varnish only in certain spots. Most of it's already come off. But are you ready to see what it looks like when you sand it? Ooh. And we're gonna do the same thing with these rails. We were going to use the Danish teak sealer just like we did on the bow pulpit, and it's going to look 1,000,000 times better. The hardest part on this project is underneath of the handrail on the port side. Hasn't peeled off yet, so it's like super thick varnish, and I could go around with a heat gun, and I tried to do that yesterday when I was waiting for Billy to finish his caulking area, but it like, I don't know if our why can't I think, I don't know if this is just not good enough or if it's just so thick that the heat gun's not really doing anything. But with the super fast nice sander, it's not too hard. It's just a really awkward position. So I'm like laying on my back on the vacuum for like solid minutes at a time, just trying to get each section. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm going underneath and then working on the top, moving my way down. Okay, doing that upside down is rather difficult. Billy just came up and is amazing and unscrewed the rail that was in between the walkways, so that is going to make it much easier. I can just stand it right here and I don't have to be upside down. And I forgot to film it, but I did go around with 220 and a sanding sponge and get that by hand before we started the Danish teak sealer. It's time to seal them. Up this area with trying not to let my butt touch that. I don't know about you guys, but this is probably one of the most satisfying things in the entire universe.
It looks so good. So that's what it looks like when you first put it on. Oh, you still gotta wipe it off with the rag too.
Yeah, in 30 minutes.
But this side is still not wiped, but it's starting to like soak into the wood at least. Looks really good. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications on so that you can join us next time when we get the cabin sides all painted and you can see the final result.